So in a lot of Night Train promotional material, you can see all the Nightfarers always just using their basic weapons. For example here, the Wilder, the Guardian and the Duchess. That obviously arose the question, how easy is it actually to beat the entire game, or rather one expedition, with just your starting gear? Let's find out now. And here we are. As you can see, I unfortunately got the mountaintops, which is probably the worst Shifting Earth event, because I'm not going to tell you which Night Lord I have, but it's not Caligo, so those are pretty much useless. Also, I wanted to go a little bit more into the rules, so as I said, I'm only allowed to do damage or use my starting tools, with for Wilder would be my greatsword and the parrying shield. But I also made the rules so that it's not too easy to not be able to use my ultimates or my abilities to deal damage. I can still use them, for example, to iframe difficult moves, but I'm not allowed to deal damage with them. The beginning of this run was pretty much the same as any run you would do in solo, so I just got to level 2 from an easy camp and then got my stone sword keys. Next up, I killed the golem on top for an easy level 3, and I got a ballista with the passive to help me with fire negation. Right after that, I made my way over to the next Evergel, and in there, massive waste of time, but at least some good runes. After strolling around for a bit, a red marker suddenly appeared on my map.
Mother of Christmas Eve, what the fuck? Damn it! Damn!
Since when can this bitch hit you? Now, as much as I hate this boss, this came in clutch because there was no other boss around here, so I just settled for this one. After stalling for genuinely 10 minutes, I got some hot ass. I'm joking, I actually got something pretty decent. Attack power at full HP is not bad. Well, look who it is. This is honestly a pretty nice fight for Wilder, because parrying him is incredibly effective and my damage isn't that bad yet. Now, in case you're wondering, why didn't you just use smithing stones? Well, because then it would literally just be any other weapon, so upgrading a fucking weapon that's supposed to be weak, it's against the entire point of the challenge, so I will not be upgrading my sword. This boss was nothing out of the ordinary, well, difficulty-wise. The Bell-bearing Hunter is pretty easy to get as Wilder, because parrying him pretty much makes him like one of the easiest bosses in the game. I know that in trios he can be incredibly hard, but there's nothing really that hard about him in solo. Also notice how whenever I parry him, that I don't take the crit, but I instead sometimes just heavy attack him. That's simply so I can just get more damage in quicker time, because if I obviously do enough charge attacks, then I can also crit him again. Improved dodging is probably one of the best things I could have gotten here, so I'm pretty happy with this. But now, after the first night boss, the challenge really starts, because now my damage actually scales below anything I'm about to fight now, because I obviously need more runes. So I saw the trolls in the castle and decided, hell no, I'm not doing this, so I decided to go for the basement boss. Now, the ancient hero of Zamor is not that difficult, but with low damage and without ult, it's low-key pretty annoying. Also, I'm very bad at him, especially parry timing. The second phase is just so much stalling, so again, another huge waste of time. And just as I anticipated, now in night 2 I'm actually starting to feel the challenge, because this fight took so long. I would usually think the Ancient Hero of Zaymor doesn't have a lot of health. Sure, he runs around a lot, but like, my damage was really not good against him. And I got one of the best weapons for Wilder. Unfortunately, I can't use it. Still took it though, it has a nice passive. This is the only troll you can fight without getting interrupted by the others in the castle, so I took him out for some easy runes. Incredible waste of time from one of the best enemies in the game. Thankfully, one of the easiest enemies, or rather bosses, was on the rooftop, and this guy gives really good rewards and has an incredibly easy moveset. So I took him out for some big runes and rewards. Easy no hit, and I got some decently bad buffs. The zone was already coming in for the last time, so I had to find something quick to get my runes. Unfortunately, just look at where all the good stuff is. The churches and 3 big bosses I missed out on. Perfect. So I had only one other option left, to do some little bosses in the mountaintops, because I'm definitely not strong enough for the dragon. Oh, a legendary! And it's fucking bullshit. Now, by the bosses I got in Night 1 and 2, I'm pretty sure you can tell yourself which Nightlord I have chosen. And if this video finally gets at least a little bit support, I might as well also do the others. But first, more gold. I must say, up until now this challenge hasn't been too infuriating or hard. Sure, I'm only gonna reach level 13 before the Nightlord, but the Nightlord is pretty easy, so it's not that big of a deal, and my damage is gonna be bad regardless. But I did get a lot of health buff, or flask buffs, so, you know, it's honestly pretty lucky. But now, the real and final challenge. But before that, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a like, and you might as well subscribe, it doesn't cost you anything. And now please enjoy the final fight of this challenge. Now, as you were able to see, my damage is really not that good. And Gladius is probably one of the worst bosses to do in solo because of the fucking shit he's doing right now. But you just need to run away and very carefully attack them here. You literally just need to wait. It's pretty bullshit, honestly. But I still think Gladius is one of the easier Night Lords, well, especially for this challenge, because his moveset in his like triple form is honestly very easy. Now, I gotta admit, this challenge was honestly far easier than I imagined, and the only hard part was really the Night Lord at the end, but even that, I managed to do that pretty easily. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this challenge to you, if you would like a little challenge, because it really isn't that hard. And yeah. Now I wanted to show you my relics, but noticed I literally only had one equipped. So yeah, that just goes to show this challenge really isn't that hard. You don't need a lot of setup for this. Just go in there, do it. And thank you so very much for watching my video, beating Night Train with only the starting gear.